Hey, welcome to From Idea to Build, where we'll take you from thinking about maybe getting a printer to getting to use it, getting to do more advanced stuff, getting it to do what you want it to do, and eventually be able to design and build your own special purpose 3D printer, if that's the way you want to go. First though, we're going to start where we should, at the beginning. I'd like to have a conversation. It's going to seem a little bit one-sided at first, but really it's more about what you want than what I want. See, we're going to talk about 3D printing, and we're going to start at the first questions you should ask yourself when you're starting out. Am I into robotics? Am I interested in how these printers work, how the robotics in them move, how linear action works, whether it's in a Delta printer or a Cartesian? So if you're not really into robotics, then that's going to affect whether you're going to get a kit or whether you're going to get a pre-built machine. The next question you have to ask is, am I a hobbyist, am I a professional? Because that's going to really judge whether you want to get something that has professional support behind it or not. Am I into prototyping? Am I into industrial design, architectural design prints? Cosplay again, am I looking at going into business for myself with it? And again, back to budget. The budget's pretty important on this. So really it affects the three options that you have. Do I want to get a pre-built machine, a kit, or as a subset of both, do I want to get a professional / manufacturing machine? So we're going to touch on printers that touch all three of these categories. Pre-built, I've got a couple. I've got two of them. I haven't even opened the boxes on them yet, so we'll be able to check those out in the unboxing videos. And the videos that follow will go from plugging it in for the first time to setting up the software to getting our first print out of it. And once we're done with these first prints, we'll move on to more advanced printing, how to do slicing using some different materials. Mostly I'll be using PLA, but I will print some ABS and some metal fill and some wood fill down the road, as well as maybe even some HIPs or some PETG, so we can, see how the different materials work and which ones work for for what applications. So the advantages of getting a pre-assembled kit or a pre-assembled printer are simply that it's usually a very short amount of time going from the box to getting your first print out of it. It can be as little as 20 minutes or as much as 2 hours in some cases, but usually it's very fast. Most pre-built machines have some type of support channel if they're from a reputable vendor. And then, it's also, they're more likely to be reliable. Unless, you're into robotics and understand how to assemble one and are willing to learn how to assemble one if you don't already understand it. So really that comes down to the builder's capacity to build a functional machine. Now with a kit, the advantage is that if something does go wrong, it can be much faster to get a repair in place because the parts are usually readily accessible. You as the owner and builder are also more familiar with how those parts should go in. So you don't have to do a lot of research during a repair in order to enact it. There's also a certain pride in having built the machine, more of a sense of ownership, if you will. Now, I'm going to be using 3 printers for our first printers. The first one is going to be a Printrbot Play, which is their entry-level machine, and it's just a few inches of build volume. I think it's 4 by 5 by 4 or something like that. I've owned Printrbot's in the past, and I've been very happy with their support, and they have a generally good reputation besides that. However, I have seen some complaints, so copy them poor, but just keep in mind, if you're going to buy a pre-assembled machine, there's no reason to spend a lot of money for your first machine if you're only getting your feet wet. The other machine that we're looking at for starting is called a SeeMeCNC Eris, which is about 5 inches diameter by 5 inches high. That one's a Delta printer, so it'll be my first time using a Delta, so we'll grow together on that one. But it should be pretty straightforward. It has a reputation for being fast from box to print. The other machine we'll be getting is a Prusa i3 kit, which should give us about 8 inches cubic build volume. This will be the only one that has some other interesting features. For example, a heated bed. You need a heated bed in order to print ABS, and anything larger than a few inches, as well as other specialty filaments, really do require a heated bed. So we'll be using that one for that. Now it's going to be cheaper than the other ones. The other two are roughly around $400 and $550 each. This one's probably only going to be about $300 to $400 as a kit. It's the other advantage of a kit. It's usually much less expensive. I'm going to try to go with somebody reputable for the kit so that we can move along with that without it being too much of a problem. After we've got our first prints and some more advanced prints out, we'll be moving on to our secondary printers. One of which is a Printrbot metal simple metal, that I picked up a couple of years ago, but I've been upgrading, as I've needed it. It's gone about as far as that model can go with a larger build volume, heated bed, etc. I mean, you'll see it when the time comes. The other machine is a Type A machine Series 1, which is a borderline manufacturing machine. The new versions of it are very capable of manufacturing. The features they have that I don't really consist of slightly stronger Z rails so that it'll wobble less on the Z axis. Not that that's a problem I've had, but as you put mileage on a machine, rigidity counts for a huge amount in precision. It also doesn't have a heated bed like the new ones do. By the time we get to that, I may have upgraded it, although that's not really what my focus is right now, so we'll see where that goes. In the next video, we'll be doing the Printrbot Play, from plugging it in to getting our first print out of it, software setup, all that like I mentioned before. In between now and then, you'll see a couple simple little unboxing videos for the Printrbot Play and the Eris. But in the meantime, I'll see you later. Ta-ta for now.